Before we leap into the future, we have to be brutally honest about our present. The internet you and I use every single day is a magnificent, sprawling, and deeply flawed marvel. It's a digital house of cards. Think about the last photo you sent to a loved one. The moment you hit send, that image wasn't teleported whole. It was shattered into thousands of tiny digital puzzle pieces called packets. Each packet then began a frantic, chaotic race across the globe, hopping between servers in different cities, routers in different countries, bouncing along fiber optic cables under oceans and through mountains. At the other end, hopefully, all those pieces arrived and were reassembled perfectly. But at any point along that chaotic journey, a third party, a hacker, a corporation, a government agency could have been listening. They could have intercepted those packets, copied them, and stored them away. You would never know. That sensitive email with your financial data? A copy might be sitting on a server in a country you've never even heard of. That private message? Its digital ghost could be waiting patiently for the right tool to bring it back to life. Our defense against this is encryption. We wrap our data in complex mathematical puzzles, like a digital lockbox. The problem is, every lock has a key. And today's encryption relies on puzzles that are just very, very hard for our current computers to solve. But hard is not the same as impossible. Cybersecurity Ventures estimates that cybercrime will cost the world a staggering $9.20 trillion in 2024 alone. That's not a number. That's an economic catastrophe, larger than the entire economies of Japan and Germany combined, vanishing into the digital ether. Billions of personal records are breached every year. But the greatest threat isn't what's being stolen today. It's what's being hoarded for tomorrow. There's a sinister strategy in the world of cyber espionage known as store now, decrypt later. Malicious actors are vacuuming up vast amounts of encrypted data, your emails, your company's trade secrets, our government's classified communications, and just sitting on it. They can't crack it today, but they're betting that in 5, 10, or 15 years, the arrival of a powerful quantum computer will give them a master key to unlock everything. Every secret you've ever sent online could be laid bare. It's a ticking time bomb woven into the very infrastructure of our lives. But what if we could build a system where the very act of being spied on was physically impossible? What if the universe itself could be our bodyguard? That's where the quantum internet changes the game entirely. To understand this new internet, we have to journey to the very edge of human comprehension, to a place that baffled even the great Albert Einstein. He famously called it spooky action at a distance. Today, we call it quantum entanglement. I want you to try a little thought experiment with me. Imagine you and a friend have a pair of magical coins. These coins are special, they are entangled. You keep one coin in New York and your friend takes the other to Tokyo. You stand in your apartment, flip your coin, and it lands on heads. Instantly, and I mean instantly, faster than a beam of light could ever travel between you, your friend's coin in Tokyo also flips to heads. If you flip yours to tails, theirs immediately becomes tails. This isn't magic. It's a proven fundamental property of our universe. When two quantum particles, like photons of light, become entangled, they share a single unified existence. They are two bodies with one soul. What happens to one is instantly reflected in the other, regardless of the distance separating them. They could be in the same room or on opposite sides of the galaxy. The connection is absolute and immediate. Now, here is the secret ingredient, the universal law that makes the quantum internet unhackable. It's called the no-cloning theorem. In our classical world, information is endlessly reproducible. You can copy a text file 1,000,000 times, and each copy is a perfect identical clone of the original. But in the quantum world, this is forbidden. You cannot create an identical copy of an unknown quantum state. The universe simply doesn't allow it. Even more importantly, you cannot observe a delicate quantum state without disturbing it. The very act of looking at it changes it. or even destroys it. Think of it like this. Imagine a secret message written on a soap bubble. The moment an eavesdropper, let's call her Eve, tries to intercept that bubble to read the message, her touch the act of observation causes the bubble to pop. The message is gone, but more importantly, the intended recipient instantly knows someone tried to interfere. The universe itself sounds the alarm. The theoretical physicist Brian Greene put it beautifully. Quantum communication doesn't just protect your information. It makes eavesdropping physically impossible without detection. Your security is no longer based on a man-made algorithm that can be broken. It's based on the fundamental physics of reality. The universe is your bodyguard, and its watch is eternal. So how does this spooky action and no cloning stuff actually work to protect, say, your bank transfer? Let's walk through it step by step. Imagine a hospital CFO, let's call her Maria, needs to wire $1 billion to an international research partner, Kenji, to fund a new clinical trial. The stakes are astronomical. A breach could be catastrophic. In the old world, Maria would encrypt the transaction details and pray. In the new world, she uses quantum key distribution, or QKD. Step 1. The quantum handshake. Before any financial data is sent, Maria's bank and Kenji's bank establish a connection over a dedicated quantum channel, a special fiber optic cable. Through this channel, they generate and share a pair of entangled photons. Step 2. Creating the unbreakable key. Maria and Kenji now measure specific properties of their respective photons, like their polarization. Because the particles are entangled, their measurements will be perfectly correlated. They do this over and over with millions of entangled pairs, generating a long random string of 1 south and 0 south. This random string is their new one-time use cryptographic key. Step 3. The universal tripwire. Now, let's say a sophisticated hacker, Eve, has tapped into the fiber optic cable. She tries to intercept and read the photons as they pass by to learn the key. The moment she does, her measurement collapses the delicate quantum state. The entanglement between Maria's and Kenji's photons is broken. Back in their secure rooms, Maria and Kenji sacrifice a small portion of their newly created key to double-check for correlations. When they do, they see mismatches, errors that shouldn't be there. The spooky connection has been disturbed. Instantly, an alarm blares. They know with 100% certainty that someone is listening in. They scrap the compromised key, cut the connection, and start over, leaving Eve with nothing but a string of useless random numbers. Step 4. The secure transaction. Once they have successfully generated a key without any signs of eavesdropping, Maria knows their channel is secure. Now, she can use this perfectly secret, quantum-generated key to encrypt the billion-dollar transaction details using a powerful traditional encryption algorithm. She sends this encrypted data over the regular internet. Even if Eve intercepts this message, it's just gibberish to her. Without the key, it's unreadable. And because the key was generated and shared under the watchful eye of quantum physics, Eve could never have stolen it without getting caught. This isn't just for billion-dollar transactions. Imagine a journalist communicating with a whistleblower, their conversation shielded from any possible surveillance. Imagine a couple having a deeply personal video call, knowing with physical certainty that their connection is private. The quantum internet doesn't just add a layer of security. It rebuilds the very foundation of trust in our digital communications. This might all sound like it's 50 years away, but I need you to understand. This is happening right now. The first quantum networks are already humming with activity. In China, they have built a staggering 2,000-kilometer quantum network, a quantum backbone, linking Beijing to Shanghai. It's not a lab experiment. It's a functioning piece of national infrastructure, used today to secure communications for banks, government offices, and electrical grids. In Europe, the Quantum Internet Alliance is weaving together a network connecting cities and universities across the continent, fostering collaboration and building the groundwork for a pan-European quantum web. And here in the United States, the Department of Energy and the National Science Foundation are funding projects like the Illinois Express Quantum Network, creating a testbed for next-generation quantum technologies that will one day form a nationwide network. The most mind-blowing part? We're already taking it to space! China's Misha satellite, a silent sentinel orbiting 500 kilometers above us, has successfully beamed entangled photons to ground stations over 1,200 kilometers apart. Think about that. It created a spooky action link through the vacuum of space, proving that a global quantum network, secured via satellite, is not only possible but inevitable. Imagine a CEO in New York finalizing a merger with a partner in Tokyo, their entire conversation secured by a quantum key relayed through a satellite, untouchable by any spy on Earth. As the cosmologist Janet Levin remarked, we're witnessing a communication revolution as profound as the leap from the telegraph to the internet. We aren't just building a faster horse. We are inventing the jet engine. Unhackable security is the headline feature, the killer app that will drive the initial adoption of the quantum internet. But it's just the beginning. Securing the world is a profound goal, but what comes next will unleash a wave of innovation that sounds like it's been pulled from a Marvel movie. First, quantum cloud computing. Today, quantum computers are rare, monstrously expensive machines that require specialized labs and near absolute zero temperatures. Only a handful of tech giants and governments can afford them. But with a quantum internet, you could access the phenomenal power of a quantum computer right from your laptop, just like you stream a movie on Netflix. Imagine a small, independent drug design startup in a garage in Omaha. They could log into a quantum cloud and in a matter of hours, run complex molecular simulations to discover a new life-saving drug, a task that would take today's best supercomputers thousands of years. Imagine a city planner optimizing traffic flow for an entire metropolis in real time, preventing gridlock before it even starts. Second, distributed quantum sensing. By entangling sensors over vast distances, we could create continent-sized scientific instruments. Imagine a network of entangled atomic clocks, so perfectly synchronized by quantum mechanics that they could detect tiny, gravitational waves from black holes colliding, or even subtle geological shifts that predict earthquakes and volcanic eruptions with unprecedented accuracy. And third, distributed quantum computing. This is perhaps the most powerful idea of all. Because entangled particles share information instantly, we could link quantum computers all over the world to act as a single global supercomputer. Picture researchers in California, Germany, and Japan tackling climate change. Their individual quantum computers, linked through entanglement, would form one cohesive computational mind, crunching data at speeds that are today unimaginable. They could model our entire planet's climate with perfect fidelity, accelerating the discovery of solutions to our most existential threat. For you and me, the benefits become deeply personal. Your medical records perfectly secure. Your bank account immune to digital fraud. Your smart home devices, from the camera on your doorstep to the thermostat on your wall, finally shielded from the constant threat of being hijacked. As the astrophysicist Charles Liu says, quantum communication enables forms of collaboration and trust that are impossible today. It's not just a new technology. It's the dawn of a new kind of human potential. With a technology this transformative, it's no surprise that its development has become a geopolitical chess game. The race to build the quantum internet is the new space race, a 21st century digital Cold War where the stakes are a collective future. Nations like China, the United States, and the members of the European Union are pouring billions of dollars into research and development. They know that the first nations to master quantum communication will gain an incredible strategic advantage. They will be able to shield their own military, economic, and governmental secrets with an unbreakable cloak of physics, while potentially having the power with future quantum computers to decrypt the stored now classical data of their rivals. Elon Musk has warned of a coming quantum divide, a world split between the quantum haves and have-nots. Nations left behind in this race risk becoming second-class digital citizens. Their economies vulnerable to espionage, their infrastructure susceptible to attack, and their people's data perpetually at risk. The U.S. has launched the National Quantum Initiative Act, a multi-billion-dollar push to accelerate American leadership. The EU has its €1 billion quantum flagship program. The competition is fierce, not just between nations, but between corporations. IBM, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they are all betting that quantum networking will be the backbone of the next global economy. This isn't some abstract political game. The outcome of this race will directly affect your life. It will determine who sets the standards for global communication, who controls the flow of secure information, and whether the promise of quantum security is a universal right or a privilege for a select few. Now, before we all get carried away and start expecting quantum WIFE in our homes next year, we need a dose of reality. Building this future is one of the greatest engineering challenges humanity has ever undertaken. First, quantum states are ridiculously fragile. A qubit, the quantum version of a bit, is the diva of the particle world. It's easily disrupted by the slightest change in temperature, a stray electromagnetic field, or even a random cosmic ray from a distant supernova. Building a stable quantum network is like trying to construct a skyscraper out of soap bubbles in the middle of a hurricane. Second, there's the problem of distance. Quantum signals degrade quickly. Today's best fiber optic cables can only maintain a quantum state for 100 kilometers or so before the signal is lost to noise. To build a transcontinental or global network, we need quantum repeaters, incredibly complex devices that can catch a fading quantum signal and re-entangle it to send it further down the line, all without destroying the information. These are still in their infancy. And then there's cost and accessibility. Right now, the components for quantum networking are exquisitely expensive and require hyper-specialized expertise. We need to go from a world where building a quantum node is like handcrafting a Rolls Royce to one where it's as cheap and easy as manufacturing a Wi-Fi router. But despite these monumental hurdles, the progress is breathtakingly fast. Just 10 years ago, much of this was pure theory. 5 years ago, it was confined to a few elite labs. Today, it's a reality in multiple countries. The timeline is accelerating. In 5 years, we can expect major cities to be linked. By 2035, perhaps small businesses and hospitals will be tapping into quantum-secured networks. By the 2040s, it might just be as common as the internet is today. So we've journeyed from the frightening insecurity of today to the mind-bending physics of entanglement and on to the global race to build our quantum future. But what does it all mean for you right here, right now? It means we are on the cusp of a world where trust can be built back into our digital foundations. Imagine a future where you never have to worry about your identity being stolen, where your children can learn and play online in a truly safe environment, where your most private thoughts and conversations remain just that private. But this future isn't guaranteed to be equitable. It will be shaped by the choices we make today. As a citizen, you can advocate for public investment in quantum research and for policies that ensure this technology serves everyone, not just the powerful. As a professional, you can explore the new careers this field will create, from quantum engineers and cryptographers to the ethicists who will help guide its responsible use. The quantum internet teaches us a lesson that goes far beyond technology. It shows us that the deepest, strangest secrets of the universe, the spooky connections that even Einstein couldn't fully grasp, hold the keys to solving some of our most human problems. Just as two particles can be mysteriously linked across the vast emptiness of space, our own ability to connect through collaboration, through shared knowledge, and through a collective desire for a safer world is our greatest strength. The quantum internet is more than just a new network. It's a powerful reminder to stay curious, to embrace the profound and revolutionary changes on our horizon, and to work together to build a future where security, privacy, and opportunity are not a privilege, but a universal right. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. When this technology becomes available, what is the very first part of your digital life you would choose to protect with the unbreakable laws of quantum physics? Your finances? Your family photos? Your private conversations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for taking this leap into the quantum realm with me today. Take care, stay curious, and stay healthy. And if you enjoyed this journey and want to explore more of the incredible future that science is building for us, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It really helps the channel and it ensures you won't miss our next adventure. We'll see you in the future.